Greetings fellow captains and welcome back to another episode of World of Warships with the Hive Hound. And today we've got probably the reason why I haven't bothered playing ranked at all this season. I say at all, I've played 7 matches. I've averaged about 86,000 damage per game, 3,000 XP, 1.6 kills per match. If you really want, I'll pop the stats up in another video, but yeah, this is exactly why. So as you can see, we're in the tier 5 ranked battle. I've decided to go with the USS Arizona just because it takes ages to get in as a destroyer. Tier 5 cruisers, there's nothing I particularly feel comfortable in, and I don't know what it is. I use the Arizona. I've used the Arizona for all the previous seasons, and it's something I'm very comfortable in, as you can see by the Citadel on the Nuremberg there. Like, I know this is going to be a tricky shot coming up because, well, they're basically crashing into each other, and God knows what the result of that is going to be. So we obviously we're at the. I forgot to pay attention to which map this is, and my brain is failing me. But we've got 3 people pushing A, and the rest of the squad heading over towards B and C. I did try and entice the squad by going use a key area for C and try and get more of us over there, and we score our second Citadel hit from the match with our second successful salvo. This is why I like the Arizona, the accuracy, and you know, particularly when you're catching players broadside, you're gonna cause some significant damage. And okay, I'm not using my mic. There's no point, because half the time people are on a different console or not paying attention. But if you ping the map, you'd hope maybe 1 or 2 people take notice and pay a bit of attention, and we score some hits on that destroyer who was hiding in the smoke, and hopefully that'll keep him at bay for a little bit longer. So we've capped C. We're in the process of capping A, and it's looking like we're gonna. So a decent start to the match. We did notice that Johnny heading over. We were looking at shots on him, but he's managed to get himself safely tucked away behind an island, as we do a little bit of damage against the New Mexicos. Our second half of our salvo going to produce anything, well, a little bit. But now we see why I'm focusing on this Bajani is, well, one, it's a cruiser. I'm in a battleship. Easy kill. And also it'll take a bit of pressure off those in A, because if they get a third ship over there, obviously that's going to cause them a little bit more trouble. So we fire half of that. We fire two barrels with. There's no point in wasting salvos, because he looked like he was about to die. And the Nuremberg we dealt earlier looks like he's a one-shot. So we fire one turret and switch to the Queen Elizabeth. And we point out again, yeah, T-61. This is a destroyer. We need to kill it. The less destroyers we have on the field, the better. And this really should be how you focus your ships in ranked. It's cruisers always number 1. Like, you get rid of the cruisers, you're gonna have a much easier time going forward. Cruisers, destroyers. What are you talking about, Hive? But, Queen Elizabeth, who unexpectedly was just sitting there still. Obviously he's paying attention to our New Mexico, because our New Mexico's not looking the greatest of health. We still haven't captured A, but neither of the enemy teams, so points wise we've got a bit of a points lead because of the additional kill that we've picked up. And well, we're going to start working over this Queen Elizabeth. The British battleships, you will notice, the British battleships are really hard to sit down. They're really tanky, even when they're giving you good broadside, like the Queen Elizabeth is now. But you know, we're putting pressure on him where he's retreating away, and we're trying to save our New Mexico, who wasn't looking particularly great on health earlier. And there we go, we've just lost a destroyer and just given the points lead to the enemy. But there's plenty more action to come. Like I said, we're just going to try and focus down this Queen Elizabeth. The more damage, if we can save our New Mexico, great. He's in B at the moment, which is obviously reducing their points cap, but they have now actually taken A from us. So we're in precarious situation. Obviously now they're not gaining points over us, but we're not gaining points over them either. Ooh, excuse me. So now we have a second battleship coming in. Our New Mexico, fair play to him, he's been doing well. He's stuck it out. He's survived all this time, but obviously with the New Mexico and the Queen Elizabeth, you know, that was a situation he was never going to make it out alive of. So we set a fire in the New Mexico just before he gets hit by torps from our destroyer. And is he going to put the fire out? He does. So no point in firing at him for the next 30 or 40 seconds whilst his repair party cooldown comes into play. He obviously started bow tanking us, so there was just, it would be a waste of shots. But we've switched to armor piercing, and the Queen Elizabeth has kindly decided to show herself full broadside. So at this point we're down by 200 points as I get the high caliber medal. So it is a 3 versus 5 situation. So it's not looking overly positive for us at this point. But as you've probably seen from my previous videos, I don't give up. If I'm alive, and I am, I'm full health. Okay, almost full health. Then there is absolutely no need to give up, because you can snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat quite easily. So the Nuremberg decides that he wants to come back in after running away and hiding ever since we well, it wasn't the Citadel, it was the second shot we fired at him. I don't think he's actually been seen on the map since. So we've got 2 fires burning. We're going to hold off on our repair kit because, well, there's a Nuremberg out there. Burn my repair kit. He's just going to go and set me on fire again. So we swing away from the, I believe it was the New Mexico, and we're going to focus our attention on the Nuremberg because he is actually a bigger threat. He is more of a pain. He's just going to keep on setting me on fire. My health points are going to keep on dropping and dropping and dropping. So there's absolutely want to get rid of him. So we get rid of him. First thing we do is fire up both our repair kit and our damage control. And we bring it back to a 3v3, but quickly drops to a 3v2. So the New Mexico, that was a bit of an unlucky salvo. I'm sure we could have done a bit more damage there. And our destroyer takes him back out. So we're now back to a 2v2. They hold 2 caps. They have almost 100 points lead at this time. We can see a bunch of torpedoes over there off in the distance. So we're pretty sure the enemy destroyers there, because torpedoes don't tend to come from battleships. And they've run out. So our destroyer does exactly the right thing, and he starts to cap B. And kudos to him. He's had a great game. He really has. And let's see how how this pans out. So we've been spotted by a plane. I'm assuming that's come from one of the battleships. So I think the majority of the cruisers have been dead for so long at this point. None of them could have put any up. The Nuremberg being the last one, and we killed him, and there was no plane in sight. See, being polite with the chat wheel, saying thank you. You know, you're doing well. So we now have 2 of the caps, and the 100-point lead they had is starting to drop. We've got, what's that, 80 points difference now, as We fire up our second repair kit because, you know, obviously we're getting to the end of the battle now. We wanna get as much health as we can, because one, chances are we're gonna get torpedoed by their destroyer, or two, we're gonna come against their battleship, and if you're not angled right, it's gonna really hurt. So our destroyer is sort of wavering between B and C, which is good call. That's exactly where he should be positioning himself at the moment, because we do need to defend these two caps. So it's a Fubuki and an Ismail left. We were temporarily spotted, but obviously that has now gone. We've done just over 92,000 damage. So we've had, considering the lack of ships, you know, it's only 7v7. That's pretty good going. And oof, that is a almost full health Ismail. So he's spotted. We're not. We're going to fire at him from behind this island. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Our first salvo does very little, and that is about the worst dispersion I've ever seen by an American battleship. That was awful. We're using Sims at level 16 Legendary 2, so we're usually pretty accurate, and that's what our build is all about. But I think that salvo, we've done absolutely nothing. So as you can see, C is now being capped, so we know exactly where their destroyer is. He's not spotted me, so he's just got to be around that edge of the island, and I'm torn here, not 100% sure what exactly I should do. But there's a destroyer up my ass. I can't see him, he can see me. We're going to start motoring forward, because if we get torpedoed, it's going to be the end of us. But he has got torpedoes out. I think he was aiming them at our destroyer. So I'm trying to alert the map to the key area, but it's just being a bit of a dick. But I noticed our destroyer is heading back that way, so hopefully he's going to go in and sort out that Fubuki, who is inevitably going to be chasing us down. So we're looking. The Ismail is coming forward. He's given us a bit more of an angle than he did last time, and there we go. Shots are away, and all right. We could have asked for more, but we're not going to complain. That was a 9,000 damage salvo. Our destroyer's got his torpedoes going in, because now he's turned away from C, so we're losing points. We're down by 50 points now. We were right, that destroyer was going to fling torps at us. We turned around this island predicting he was going to fire torps at us, and that's exactly what he did. Right, okay, so now we know the destroyer's fired his salvo, fired his torpedoes. Why he's firing torpedoes into a mountain, knowing I'm the other way around, is, I don't know, a bit of a mystery. We'll chalk that one up to wishful thinking. Right, okay, so we are going to push round here, and obviously we need to kill. At this point, we've got a slight lead because of the Ismail kill. But we need to do one of two things, right? We either need to stop them gaining points from capping B, or kill the Fubuki. So that's us with an 8-point lead. Our destroyer is now in the cap, so we have a 4-point lead. So all we have to do is not die, and that's it. Not die, and we win. So the Fubuki's launching torps. We fire a salvo. We've got HE ready for him. We hit him. We hit him a couple of times. He's fired up his smoke. He is running the hell away. So we are maintaining this 4-point lead. So all we've got to do is not leave the cap, as our destroyer just has. And there we go. The enemy is now 4 points ahead. Now 8 points ahead. Obviously I'm motoring to try and get into the cap circle, but as you can see, this is the absolute end of the game. And there we go. You can see their lead is just increasing and increasing, and 96 and 1,000. So our faithful destroyer captain just lost us the match trying to chase down that last kill. Hence the name of this video, Snatching Defeat from the Jaws of Victory. I'd like to thank that commander for not only having a great game, but for throwing away the battle and stealing my star. So, thanks for sticking with us, and until next time, take care.